mid-sized business owners who want to hire a full-time or even a part-time bookkeeper, but just do not have the funds. In addition, we free business owners from the tedious tasks of bookkeeping and help them focus on their business operations, their growth, and profitability. Gunderson's Bookkeeping is your business solutions partner offering a broad range of services to meet the needs of our clients. A profitable business needs accurate and reliable books, so take a strong step and call us today for your personal, no-risk consultation.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world, you are watching NowMedia Television.
Hey, welcome to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. Man, I'm so excited to be here today. It's going to be an amazing show. I tell you, we've got some great things coming up. But let's start today talking about your destination. You know, as a business owner, we have to understand where we're going. If we have no idea where we're going, we're always going to get there, but we're always going to seem lost. And that's one of the most important things. I see it all the time. I go talking to business owners and I say, hey, what do you want the end of your business to look like? And a lot of the times they give me that deer in the headlight look. They're not really sharp. So I explained to them, I said, look, if you're going to build a house, you just don't go to a construction company and say, hey, build me a house. You know, what do? You go to an architect, you design it, you look at it, you do this, and things change. And, you know, if you're building the house, yeah, things will change as you go. When you go in, maybe we want different color cabinets. Maybe we want colors on the floor different. We want to, you know, this room to be over here a little bit, and we can modify things as we're building. But that's what we've got to do with our business. We've got to have a pretty good idea what we want the end to look like. If you guys follow Stephen Covey used to say you have to begin with the end in mind. So as a business coach, when I'm going out and helping you, the business owner, grow the business you want, I have to understand exactly what you want. In order to get there, you need to understand what you want to build before you get there. So that's going to be one of the most important things, because once we understand what we want to build, it's very easy to go in and say, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. One of my mentors is a guy named Cameron Harold. He was part of a company called 1-800-GOT-JUNK. You may have heard of it. It went from a $100,000 company in like a dorm room in Canada to a $100 million company. But they knew exactly what they wanted to build. And they used to just tweak their vision every year. And that's one of the things, me and my partner Chris in our accountable boardroom that we do. We have every business that we work with tweak their vision every year, but we're still going for that long-term goal. I tell you, as a business owner, I think you should look at 3-year goals. 3-year goals are very easy to see and achieve. We get to 9, 10, 15-year goals. They're hard. They really are hard to see. But if you get on that 3-year goal and then just continually tweak it and continually look at where you want to be 3 years down the road, you're going to build it. So I'm your business guide, Michael Rager. We're going to be back. We have some great guests. We're going to learn some great things today. So make sure you stay here on the NowMedia Television networks.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of Boar's Head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and guide, Michael Rager, here on NowMedia Television Networks. And today we've got her. She's in here. She's visiting us. It's Linda Chung. Linda, how are you today?
I'm good, Michael. How are you?
I'm great. All right, so we're going to talk, about financial habits and goals. When people come to work with you, how do you help them figure out what goals they should be looking to meet? And, what's the process when they work with you to figure that out?
It's a simple question, but not easy.
Okay.
So the first part is really, what do you want? And sometimes people really, if they've never really thought about it and they think that it should come from outside the world or something like that, this is really I call it an inside job. So it takes people some time to. Some people just like, well, I want $1 million. And then you ask the follow-up question, well, why? And well, then because X, Y, Z, then I could buy these things and so forth. And really, it's just the process. It's really an internal exploration of really how do you want to live your life and what's the lifestyle that you want to create. Financial goals, especially, the reality is that most of the time you need to have some kind of income to be able to buy things. But also there's other things that you can create a lifestyle where it's not you, buying it necessarily. There are other ways to live. If you like to travel, you can actually, there's some companies would pay you to travel, so you don't have to make all the money the traditional way. You can create a lifestyle and really just figure out if in your ideal day, what does that look like? Do you want to have a big house? Do you want to travel? And figure out then with the end in mind is one of the common things.
I know exactly. And I tell my clients, we got to understand where you want to go, because if you want me to take you where I'm going to go, we're going to go to the beach and we're going to go fishing. All right. If you don't like the beach and you don't like fishing, you're not going to enjoy it there very much.
No.
So,
and then you're going to be like, how did I get here?
Exactly. And why did I get here? So it's very important for people to understand that I'm here right now and I want to go here. And what do I need to get in between? And that's where I think you help them work with habits and healthy financial habits, right?
Right. And it's really, I don't know, there's lots of wise people, a lot of, going back to the Greeks, that you kind of are what you do daily is like the gist, and really, are you intentionally creating the life that you want, and really the thing that you do the most often. I think it's good to have an audit of just what your life is today. It's very simple to figure out what's important to you today in your life. You just look at how you spend your time and how you spend your money. If you do that, you will see right now what's important to you. If it's to make a lot of money, maybe some people, it's like, do you really, when you're watching TV, no judgment, but then it's maybe not, how many hours do you spend watching TV or being entertained, right? If your health is important to you, how much time do you spend and invest in your health? So really financial goals are not anything different. Are you intentionally looking at and knowing where you are today, how much, net worth you have, how much cash flow you have, what your expenses are, what your income is, and are you looking and seeing where you are today and where you want to go, and then taking those realistic steps to actually work on it. If you have a business, then are you looking to increase your income, right? Getting more clients. You can also decrease your expenses, but that's only going to help you so far, and you can maximize the opportunity, maximize the value that you create. Go back to existing clients and offer them more value. So lots of different ways to do it. But really, I go back to the schedule, because then that's really shows you how you spend your time, and then also the budget, how you spend your money. And if you're not really getting your financial goals, you just have to be honest with how those two things, I think, and that will reveal. And no cheating.
I tell you, a lot of people
So.
aren't very honest, and they don't like it when you really have to throw the honesty and push it out in front of them, and it hits their ego just a little bit. And sometimes that's what they pay us to do, is we've got to help them get their ego in check and go, hey, look, if you really, really want this, this is what you're going to have to do, and you have to make change. So when a client comes to you and you see this and you see they don't have the right habits to hit the goal they want, how do you help them? You know, what's kind of some of the steps you utilize to help them change those bad habits into the good ones?
Oftentimes, I don't think it's helpful to tell them what to do, because then it creates a dependency. But also I can share maybe an example that's relatable, because I've, definitely been there, and, in some respects, are a relatable story, and that can give them ideas of how they can apply that. But most of the time, actually, when you think about what you want, and you can imagine, like, if you had that today, then you think about, one important question is, okay, this is the part that's hidden, and making the unconscious, conscious or aware is, okay, what would I lose if I actually got that thing? So there's some reason why they're not doing it already. Okay. Yeah. So you have to address that hidden thing. And then once you're able to do that, then most of the time they actually know what to do. It's just, there's a reason why they're not open and honest or aware of, that is keeping them from doing that. It could be, well, if I make a lot of money, my life is going to be so stressful or complicated. That was what I thought, or I'm going to have to work so much harder, and I work hard now. So maybe I really don't want to make that money. But then I was just asking myself, well, how can I make a lot more money and have it be fun and easy? And that's what I'm working on, creating that. So.
Yeah, a lot of it's that we teach in the coaching, the identity iceberg is what you see above the water. There's so much that influences it. Why do I think that way? What's in there? Who put that in my head? We had a client once. He would get to $100,000 in profit. He'd get to about $98,000, $97,000 in profit, and then he would sabotage. Mm-hmm. And finally sat down and said, "What's going on?" And we really found out that his grandfather, who he was very, very close with, told him that anybody that made over $100,000 was evil. So he had this thing put into him since when he was 4 or 5 years old. And so every time he would see himself getting there, he would just stop. And we had to get that out of his head, that wasn't true, and go there. And those are the kinds of things that, when it comes to coaches, that we help them with. I struggle, I know, as a coach sometimes, if I got to coach them out of something and it's taking too long, I got to kind of kick them in the butt and say, go do this. And I know you used the word dependent. Sometimes they need to be told what to do, because they don't know.
Yeah, it's a parent-child relationship sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But my favorite coaching question is, when somebody gives me the I don't know, is, well, if you did know, what would you do? And it's amazing how many times they'll give you just a solid, great answer and go there. So when you're meeting with your clients, Linda, how many times do you meet with them per year to make sure that they're, staying on track and not getting off?
Usually at least once a week, I would say. Typically, but it can be very short time. Honestly, if it's done well, in the beginning, it can take a little bit more time, but maybe half an hour. But ideally, it's not a long meeting. We kind of make it not about the story. It's just more the what is. What happened? Did they achieve their goals? Did not? Did they do their next step or not? And, really, it's asking them simple questions. What are you proud of for the week? What did you learn for the week? And what could you change, and do differently after your learning?
Awesome. So if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you, and how do they set up that meeting to help you move them along and get those right habits going?
Probably the best way and easiest way is on social media, Instagram, Linda Chung Official, linda.chung, Chung, Official.
Awesome.
And you can just send me a direct message and just say from NowMedia, and I'll instantly look at it.
Get them out there and get them going. Well, Linda, I really appreciate it. I mean, it's awesome to have you on here and help you share your expertise. I'm looking forward to hearing more and more and more, great things. What are we going to be talking about in the future? Are we going to talk about debt? Are we going to talk about wealth? What are we going to talk about in the future?
Yes, that is going to be a big part of it, because how many people do you know have debt?
Me. Yeah.
The statistics are astounding. Between any homeowner, pretty much, anyone that went to college, anyone owns a car, anyone that has credit cards, pretty much, I don't know exactly, it's maybe 75, 80% of the country in debt, and also at an unsustainable lifestyle. They're never going to be debt free. Yeah, literally. It's but
amazing.
We can help them with that.
The Fed raised rates again yesterday, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens and how debt affects us. So it's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing some more great things from you in the weeks to come. So thanks a lot, Linda. You have a great week. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Have a good week.
All right. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV on the NowMedia Television networks. We'll be back right after this.
¿Quieres que tu negocio crezca y todo parece indicar que el camino es Estados Unidos? Te dijeron que abras una LLC para que no pagues impuestos, mas no tienes idea de cómo hacerlo. Soy Edmundo Treviño y quiero compartir contigo más de 20 años como empresario en Estados Unidos para que tú no te equivoques en los mismos errores que yo ya realicé. Sígueme en todas las redes sociales para que juntos conquistemos el mercado americano.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
La información es poder. Y para estar bien informado, te invito a que veas todos los días Noticias de la Tarde.
No presenta golpes o lesiones.
Conozca los hechos más importantes de México y cada rincón del mundo. Además, el análisis, reportajes especiales, entrevistas con los personajes que hacen la noticia. Yo soy Jesús Martín Mendoza y te espero en Noticias de la Tarde de lunes a viernes a las 2 por el Heraldo Televisión.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. I'm so excited. I'm going to throw this one over to Mac and Natalia. They're going to talk a little bit today about harassment in the workplace and how you, as the person getting harassed, you can deal with it. So it's all about resolving conflict. Take it away, Mac and Natalia.
Hey, thank you, Michael. Again, this is another topic we're going to be talking about today, and that is on bullying, harassment, and discrimination conflict resolution issues. So all too often, people go to work and they have to deal with harassing, name calling, belittling. They have to deal with coworkers who are not so nice. Some people say that social media has revealed that we never left high school, that adults grow up but haven't quite grown up. They still act petty. And this continues even in the workplace as well. So conflict is something that happens not just in our everyday professional lives, but also at the workplace. And so I want to just talk for a few minutes on how do you deal with these kind of workplace conflict issues. Okay, so conflict does not just embrace the bully and the victim, but these kind of conflicts that happen in the workplace, they affect the entire workforce, the entire workplace community. It affects everybody from the top down. People who are instrumental to helping the business function and move forward, they can get affected negatively because of bullying, harassment, and other kinds of discrimination.
And someone might ask, okay, so maybe I just be silent over it, maybe it's just too much of a fuss to even go down into it, but please don't be an ostrich. Don't avoid the problem, because it's like with a painful place, painful spot on your body. It can only grow bigger and then explode in the least convenient moment. So there are so many ways to clarify all those issues, to work on them within the workspace environment, and you need to just know that those sort of conflicts, especially when bullying and when harassment, especially sexual harassment, takes place, they can really affect the health of the employees. They can make them suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. They can make them suffer from other mental health issues, and it's not safe just for them, but for the entire community they work in.
So you understand the problem. So now what's the solution? There's different ways you can address toxic workplace environments that deal with bullying, harassment, especially sexual harassment and things like that. One, there's ombuds. Many organizations and businesses have ombuds, or individuals who are neutral in their capacity, but they might be paid by the employer. They might work at the employer just down the hall from your office. But that person can be instrumental in helping diffuse tense situations. Okay, so like Natalia says, don't be an ostrich, meaning don't put your head in the sand and do like the problem is not going anywhere. The problem can go somewhere else, but you have to learn how to diffuse it. If you are in the situation of being an HR representative, somebody who works in human resources, you might hear bickering and conflict all the time. So how do you deal with it? Just like people in their private lives, you contact a mediator, or you contact a mediator to come into your workplace and help the parties bring some kind of resolution between their issues.
And again, why to try to solve this conflict in an amicable way first? Being a business owner, having employees, you probably don't want to risk and wait until any of the employees brings any sort of claims to the authorities or to the court. That's not going to be well seen. That doesn't add up to your business acumen, that doesn't adapt to your client relationships, and that doesn't adapt to the atmosphere within the entire workplace. So when you think about also how this can be and why it is worthwhile handling it, actually, this sort of behaviors, meaning the bullies, and this is interesting, can really be the most valuable workers you have, the best qualified, those who just believe that because of their position in the organization, they're entitled to treat other people in a demeanoring, in a disrespectful way, and what sort of ways that can be.
So you could have people making gestures against other people. It can be just belittling through negative words that are being said behind people's backs. It could take the form of gossiping, for example, in the workplace. You can obviously have the obvious types of bullying and harassment. It could be things like a racial slur. It could be something that attacks somebody's religious beliefs. It could be something that attacks somebody's sexual life, where people might actually deliberately make sexual advances. That's also a form of bullying and harassment. And many people say that that's probably the number one most negatively detrimental thing that you see in the workplace sometimes, and that is the issue of sex being used as a weapon in the workplace. Or sometimes people don't think it's a weapon. Sometimes people think, well, it's voluntary, it's consenting, we're adults, what's the problem? But just imagine the different problems that can come up from a situation where there's sexual relationships that are happening between people of different levels in the workplace, meaning between a person and their subordinate, and the kind of negative consequences that might result from that. So we just want you to know that there's lots of different types of bullying and harassment that might happen in the workplace. And some of them are small, but other ones are much, much bigger.
And to these, we would absolutely count those that would embrace things like isolation, being rude, taking credit for someone's work, ridiculing people publicly or in private, or shaming people. And I would want everybody to direct themselves to one of our podcasts that we did with Dr. Lavina Wilkins, who actually specializes in analysis of the workplace conflict. And she also points out something absolutely interesting. Usually the bullies are aware of what they are doing. So they are doing that with intention. So being a business owner, you can't pretend that you don't see it, especially if complaints start coming from employees.
So now you understand the issue at hand. Where do you get some help? Again, we've discussed instantmediations.com, a company that we helped co-found, where we have a list of mediators who are available to help resolve disputes, including disputes in the workplace. So one of the individuals we have, for example, on instantmediations.com is Brett Lovett of Harassment Compliance Training. And he's on Instant Mediations just like we are, because he's a nationally recognized sexual harassment and bullying prevention trainer. And in the spirit of what Instant Mediation stands for, his is one of the best ways to combat potential conflicts in the workplace by engaging people in meaningful, hostile work environments and compliance prevention training. So this is something that is of value, that's available on instantmediations.com, that's available on all the projects that we are working on. It's one of the places that you can go to find relief for when you're having to deal with the number one issue of sexual harassment. Because let's face it, people don't always stay in compliance. People sometimes justify their behavior, or they forget what they learned last year in the last sexual compliance training.
And therefore, please don't hesitate to go on our website that you see on the screen, or on our other website, instantmediations.com, and we'll be absolutely happy to help with either organizing a training. And all that we're saying is for your information, and just please be inspired to look for ways so that your workplace is a safe place for other people, which will provide so many benefits to your company. That will just your investment in solving those problems will be your investment in making this business a safe place and an earning place for yourself as a business owner.
All right, and be sure to check out alaskapeer.com and the LMI podcast, and that's everywhere, including YouTube. All right, take care. That's it for now.
Checking to tell you that was some great information. Remember, if you guys need some help, if you got any harassment going on at work, make sure you give the two of them a call. They'll help you out. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV on NowMedia Television. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of bird's head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
Stop and think. How often do you take the time to set goals? And when you set those goals, how often do you hit them? The problem is the word goal setting. We all have goals, but goals are just wishes. Goals are what we want. What we really need is called result setting. My name is Katrin Becker, and what I do is create tailor-made result plans that ensure people will hit their targets. If you are committed for real results, let's chat and see which program is right for you and your team. Goals are just what we want, but together, results are what we will achieve.
Working is challenging and risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and business guide, Michael Rager. I've got him. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He's here, Leo Simpson. How you doing, my friend?
Great. You surely know how to put a smile on somebody's face.
That's what I got to do now. I got to put, I've been putting smiles on my kid face all week. His birthday week, and find him all kinds of things. So it's been awesome. All right, buddy, we're going to talk about a topic that's, true to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
Management versus leadership. And they're two different things. All right, here's how I see it and how I was told. It was this. You lead people, you manage things. Simple.
It's simple.
How do you go deeper into that? What's the difference and how deeper do we go, and what do business owners need to know about the two?
So we got to start with how we typically look at leadership and management. And generally, we interchange the two and make them sound like the same as far as how we deal with it. But leadership is not the same as management, and management is not the same as leadership. And they require that we think about them in a certain way so that we can truly get the value from them. Now, I like to think about these two in the same way that we think about family life and business life. And so as we talk about it today, I think it's very important that I bring in some of those dynamics with regard to family life and business life. In the same way that we have to think about leadership and management in the appropriate manners, so we have to think about family life and business life in the appropriate manners, because otherwise we don't get the value that we need to get. And in the same way that we say that family life and business life are meant to be teammates, not opponents, it's the same thing with regard to leadership and management. They are teammates, not opponents.
So How do we distinguish between the two, though? So how do we get in there and go to our team and say, hey, this is a leadership issue, this is a management issue? How do we look at that?
Absolutely. So we start with understanding that leadership is more at the intangible level. Management is at the tangible level, meaning management is more about what you get done, and then leadership is about who gets it done. And so when you start there, you help yourself have a solid foundation of how you approach it. The other thing you have to look at, and like I've shared with you in conversation, I've talked about this over the last 8 weeks in my problem solving and decision making class that I teach at the local community college. And that is that leadership is focused on people and thoughts. And then management is focused on processes and things. And the distinction between those two goes a little bit deeper, where you understand you lead with finesse and you manage with force, particularly because the things you manage need force in order for you to get them moving. People don't need force. They need finesse because they have force of their own. It's just like we say about family life and business life. Family life requires more of a quality of time than a quantity of time. Business life requires more of a quantity of time than a quality of time. And make sure I'm clear, because sometimes I say it and I get confused. Family life is quality of time more than quantity, and business life is quantity of time more than quality. And when you understand those dynamics to be what they ought to be for the value that can come from them, you can get the greatest benefit and value from them. Same way in regard to leadership and management. When you understand you lead with finesse and you manage with force, and you understand that they are related to people and thoughts on the leadership side and processes and things on the management side, it changes the game for you.
Yeah, it does. I'm coaching a client right now, and one of the things we got to teach him is the leadership style is the beatings will continue until morale improves. That doesn't, wow. that doesn't go there. Is they're very forceful in the way they do, and they wonder why things are not getting done. People come in, they're grumpy, they're cranky, and they don't want to be there. I think when we go looking at leadership versus management, one of my thoughts, Leo, is leadership is the vision. It's we're taking you somewhere, and we're taking you somewhere for a purpose. And management is utilizing the skills and tools and everything we have to get there. So, we're going to set the course on the boat. Are we going to row? Are we going to sail? Are we going to use the motor? What's going on? So when you go into a company and you start digging in there that way, how do you start differentiating between the two? And let me ask you this. Which one is more important?
Hey, so to be honest, one is not more important than the other. However, if you don't deal with them appropriately, you will position one to seem more important than the other. And to answer your first question, one of the things that's important is to understand that leadership, being connected with the people, is the first point that you've got to start with. And in order to understand that leadership corresponds primarily to the people, you have to understand that thoughts are the primary connection with the people. Everyone has the authority, the power, the control to lead their own thoughts. And if I approach people understanding that they get to decide what they decide to do, meaning they get to decide how they execute, then I've got to have credibility with them in order to influence them, because leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, to influence them, but at the level of their thoughts. So if I'm going to browbeat people, be brash, and be forceful, I'm going to lose them because I have not engaged them at the level that speaks to what makes them people, one, and two, what makes them leaders, no matter what their role is. So I look for, are we dealing with people at the level of parity? And the best point of parity is our potential. Am I dealing with people regardless of my role, from the standpoint that whatever it is their role is and my role is, that our interactions are going to allow us to grow in the unleashing and the tapping into our unlimited, unfulfilled potential? If that's the case, then I can always tap into their thought process and their perspective and what moves them and motivates them as well as inspires them in order to lead them in a way that they can then not only manage the things, or I can help manage the things that they manage, so that we get things done at the highest level. I told my students this: one is not more important than the other. However, it's going to be very difficult to get to leadership from management. But if you start at leadership, you will always get to management.
Yeah, and I think it comes to the point, Leo, that especially if that leader is setting a strong vision, when something goes awry, all right? So we had Mac and Natalia on, they always talk about conflict resolution. And one of the things that we can look at is when something goes awry, was the reason it went awry because we were not being true to our vision? And where do we want to go? And that can always be a question that come back. When something goes wrong, we do that. So when you start helping people, develop leadership skills, because you're just not born leaders. Some people are influential because they're big and they're burly or they're handsome or they're good looking. But when we start developing leadership skills, that's a little deeper. So how do you go working with people to develop leadership skills to make sure they understand so they can lead properly and get managed, the things managed the right way?
Yeah, first of all, I tell her what Judd Maxwell said: all leaders are bored. I've never met a leader who wasn't bored.
No matter what.
But the first thing is, man, I start with clarity. I get clarity of the expectation. I set the expectation. I understand what are the expectations for the company, for the individual, for their particular pursuit, because at the level of clarity, you're able to navigate where you need to go, which goes back to what you're saying about vision. If you can't see where you're going, if you don't know where you're going, then you can't influence anything. Matter of fact, John Maxwell says this, and he's said it in a number of his books and content. He said, a leader without followers, which is a person with no clarity, because if you got no clarity, I guarantee you nobody's following you. You got no vision, nobody's following you. A leader without followers is somebody who's simply out taking a walk.
Yeah.
And I try to help make sure people understand if they're taking a walk or if they're actually leading.
Well, yeah. And I think, again, one of my favorite John quotes is, most people, they don't have footprints in the sand, they got butt prints in the sand. They're just kind of sitting there doing what they need to do. They're not going anywhere. And that's very important. But it comes back so many times that I see it when I'm coaching my clients is you get what you accept. If you've not gone out there and put the level high, you're going to accept mediocrity. And then when you get mediocrity, it's your own fault. And that's where we get it. We've got to get to. We've got to look at these things. So we got about a minute and a half left, Leo. What's the most important thing that business owners need to take from this lesson of leadership versus management?
You have to lead people. You got to manage processes. Understand that you lead at the level of thoughts, not at the level of things. You manage at the level of things. And you understand that the way you get to navigate well between leadership and management is, as Maxwell has told us, listen, learn, then lead. When you get to that level of leadership from the learning and the listening, it will position you to be authoritative in your level of execution at the management level.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's awesome. So how do people get a hold of you, Leo?
Team3l.com. We got some exciting things going on. Matter of fact, we've got posted up there now the episode that we did with Entrepreneurs on Fire, where we exposed to over 130 million people our concept and perspective about achieving mastery between family life and business life. So we're excited. Go check it out.
Man, it's awesome. It's awesome. Again, you're a business owner. You want to learn about leadership. You're a parent. You want to learn about leadership. You want to get the parenting and the business life together. Talk to Leo, man. I appreciate it. You have a great one, Leo. We'll see you next time.
Take care, man.
All right. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on NowMedia Television. We'll see you right after this.
The tax and bookkeeping team is key to any successful business. At Gunnarson's Bookkeeping, our passion is to help small business owners grow, be profitable, and to prosper. We specialize in supporting small to mid-sized business owners who want to hire a full-time or even a part-time bookkeeper, but just do not have the funds. In addition, we free business owners from the tedious tasks of bookkeeping and help them focus on their business operations, their growth, and profitability. Gunnarson's Bookkeeping is your business solutions partner offering a broad range of services to meet the needs of our clients. A profitable business needs accurate and reliable books, so take a strong step and call us today for your personal, no-risk consultation.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV on the NowMedia and Television networks. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. Hey, we got her back. We got her back again. Afa Roach. Afa, how are you today?
I'm really, really good. Thank you so much for having me back. I really, really appreciate it.
We were excited. We couldn't wait for you to come back. So we're going to talk about some fun things today. We talked last time about finding your, perfect customer avatar. I think now we're going to start talking about, like in my world, the bait to catch these things. We're going to start talking about, digital marketing strategies. So let's talk about some strategies out there. What do you think are some of the things that small business owners should be looking at right now and they should be really, keying in on?
Yeah, so one of the things that can happen as a business owner is you can get totally overwhelmed with regard to looking at the amount of social media channels. So one of the first things that I say when we're going through doing a marketing strategy for our clients, we look at what is the marketing mix that we want to actually look at and what is the channel strategy. So I always recommend people pick in the beginning, even though we always want to aim for omnipresence, which we do, I always say to them in the beginning, aim for 2 channels and let's go deep on that. So you might decide to go with a LinkedIn and a TikTok strategy or a Google and a Facebook strategy. Facebook and Instagram I consider one, but I think that is very, very important in the beginning is to sit down and figure out we spoke about avatars and buying personas. If I'm a business owner selling coaching programs for $50,000 to $100,000, I'm probably not going to find that avatar on TikTok as much as I would find them on LinkedIn. So I think it's very, very important when you're looking at your strategy is to identify the channel that not only lends itself to your personality, your brand voice, and your brand values, but also lend itself to the avatar that you want to actually find.
Yeah, I know as a coach, one of the things I talk to, I got customers that are in the business to consumer sector. So, fertilizer guys, lawn care guys, stuff like that. I'm like, man, you really got to focus on Google and Google My Business because that's where people are going to find you. So, we talked about it last time, the avatar. We really just need to understand where that customer hangs out, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's like, and it is that. It's like, where are they hanging out? And you get that by, again, like we talked about last time, asking questions. You perfect example there. If I am, like for example, this morning before I arrived here, I needed to find a hairdresser. I went to Google hairdresser near me. I didn't go to Facebook to try to search, hair salons in the local area using Facebook. So that's very, very important for someone that's a service-based business. If people are going to be searching for a key term, are you ranking? Because, up to 80% of the traffic goes on the first 5 searches on Google, and if you're on page 5 of Google, no one's ever going to see you because whoever goes to page 5, even whoever goes to page 2. So you've got to look at a marketing strategy where you're using a pay-per-click campaign or you're using SEO to optimize the keywords on your website so that you are starting to get onto that first page of Google, whether that be you put in a solid content strategy. SEO is a longer game. People say to me, I'm not on the top of Google, I've been doing SEO for 2 months. I'm like, you're going to be doing SEO for a lot longer than 2 months to get to the top of Google. But what you can do is you can use a PPC strategy like you just mentioned that is going to help you get up for certain keywords where Google will show you to the buyer if they search for that particular term.
Well, I think it's funny is most business owners feel that social media is a short-term game, and it's not. It is a long-term game. You're not even going to start getting results for 90 days, right?
No, and that we have a minimum 90 days. We do our best to get an accelerated results in the 90 days, but there's so many variables.
Yeah.
There are so many variables, and you're learning about the business, you're learning about the avatar. What worked one week may not work next week. You see the way the algorithm updates. TikTok made an algorithm update in February, and everyone who was dominating on short form video is now having their videos views have gone so far down because TikTok decided it prefers 2-minute videos now. It wants things over 2 minutes. So you can have something working, and then on day X it just stops working. So it's a constant evolution. Just because something worked in the first 90 days doesn't mean it's going to work in the second 90 days. And that's why marketing has to be looked at as an investment, not an expense, because it's a long game.
Yeah, well, I think marketing, I think the important thing is it's a strategy. We got to understand what we're trying to accomplish. And we start talking about social media, we start talking about email marketing, we talk about SEO. Those are all tactics. And so we've got to understand what the long-term strategy is before we can understand what tactics we need to employ. And I think the next thing is how long it's going to take those tactics to take effect, right?
Like, the goal, I say to people, all roads lead to sales calls, right? And that is the truth. It is not about likes. It's not about followers. It's not even about views. That stuff, okay, although it has its place in our marketing mix, is not the standard of measurement that we're looking at for success. We want to go, how many leads did we get from our campaign? And of those leads, how many actually converted into paying customers? Of those who converted into paying customers, how many did we retain, and what's the lifetime value of that customer? They're the real numbers that we want to be interested in. So when you're ironing out that strategy, exactly what you lent into, it's about knowing that if I get a customer in, how long do I want to keep them? How much money are they going to make? And then understanding how much it costs me to acquire that customer, and then which channel gave me the customer at the cheapest cost per acquisition, and then I put my eggs in that basket, and I go with that for a while.
It's right. It's one of my mentors. What he told me is every time you walk by him, and if he said, "What is marketing?" and if you didn't answer math, your answer was wrong, because marketing is math. It's not about all that other things, because we have to understand what leads, because it's all a return on investment, right? And marketing is a very front end loaded cart. So what are some things that, even though we're just starting out, somebody that's out there just watching this for the first time, what are some things they should be focusing on right now? We talked about hashtagging and stuff like that, as before we got on stage together. What are some things they should be looking at?
Yeah, so some quick wins that not everyone is aware of. Before, SEO was localized to Google, right? We did SEO using keywords. And that's, you paid a provider to help you get your keywords. Now you actually have a little bit more power because of the prevalence of hashtags. So you can use a hashtag. You should be hashtagging your business name. You should be hashtagging your own name. You should be hashtagging 1 or 2 services that you do in the area that you're in, and putting that on all of the social media posts. So for example, when TikTok is currently indexing its platform, it's indexing based on hashtags. If you go and search LinkedIn marketing or LinkedIn marketing tips, I will probably pop up, simply because it's using not only the audio that I'm putting in my video, but also the hashtags. If you go and search on LinkedIn for LinkedIn tips, LinkedIn creator, I'll probably pop up because I'm using the relevant hashtags. So as a business owner, you can now not only have to heavily look at the keywords when you're doing your social media content, make sure that you're being strategic with the hashtag strategy across every platform, even Facebook, because they've even changed it now that they want hashtags on their posts, which was something 6 months ago they did not want.
Well, how many hashtags? I've heard 3, I've heard 5, I heard 10, I've heard 140. How many should we put on?
Yeah, so with the new algorithm update from Instagram, Instagram and TikTok, it's between 3 and 5 now. Instagram have openly said they do not want more than 5 hashtags because they don't want a whole load of spam on it. And TikTok is about 3 to 5. So you want to not only be using a hashtag strategy, but here's another little piece of gold for you. Use the in-app captions on the video, and then you can just remove them if you have, or pull them right down to the bottom if you're using video marketing, so that the platform can index you based on the words that you're using. So there are 2 things that are not going to cost you any money to implement. Put the captions in-app. Don't do them on an external app. In-app captions that you can hide if you want to. If you want more, different style of captions that it doesn't have, and using that SEO strategy. And that is going to help you to get more visibility without you having to invest a ton of money in trying to do, an SEO strategy that potentially we would do as a PPC campaign.
Hey, there we go. We've got some simple, easy things for you as the business owner there that you can go out and start executing today. So Eva, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so they can book a discovery call with me. I offer a free discovery call on my website. It's www.attentiongrabbersusa.com. You can also follow me on social media. Like I say, I'm on Instagram, Eva Jane Roach. I'm also on TikTok, same username. And where I'm most prevalent in doing a lot of activity is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is really my wheelhouse. So please come and connect with me there. Send me a DM and I'll happily connect.
Well, that's great. I just love it. It's been some great information, and I know we're going to bring more. That's what it's all about, bringing you, the business owner, some of the best information to grow your business. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV on the NowMedia Television networks. We're going to be back right after this.
Okay, outfit change.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great, nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of Boar's Head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
Le invita a su servidor Javier Solórzano a que todas las noches en Heraldo Televisión esté con nosotros entre las 21 horas y las 22 horas del centro en Referente. Estamos informando, tratando de que usted tenga todas las piezas de este rompecabezas informativo cotidiano a través de Referente. Lo esperamos, Heraldo Televisión, Referente, 21 a 22 horas. Javier Solórzano.
Hey, welcome back. This has been a great show today. I'm so glad you guys joined us. It was, just amazing the things we learned. And I think it just went with the way we started today. We got to start about your direction, where you're going and why you're trying to get there and how you're going to get there. We talked about it with Linda. We talked about it with Leo. We talked about resolving the conflicts. Everything that we got to do as a business owner to help us get from where we want to go. AFA helps us put together marketing plans. Everything that's there for a business owner to get from where we are now to where we really want to go. Make sure you have the right people on your team to help you get there, and that's going to be the most important thing. Hey, one of the things I want to talk about is if you're here in Houston, in a few weeks, we're going to be hosting an event. It's going to be a panel discussion. It's all about doing business in turbulent times. Things are really just different. It's business growth strategies in turbulent markets. And what we're going to be talking about, we got some of my good friends, we're going to talk about how to get capital, how to understand your money and what's kind of going on there. And the other things we're going to talk about is how do you build your company, what growth strategies are going to use. It's fun. It's easy. $10. Can I come out? We're gonna have a little bit of food. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. We're gonna have a little bit of happy hour after it. Those of you guys that know me, the happy hour thing is a requirement and it's something you got to do. But we want you guys to come out and learn about business. You're gonna learn from some of the best professionals here in Houston. You're gonna make some great content. And you're gonna make some great contacts, and that's what it's all about: making some great contacts to help you move from where you are now to where you want to go. So I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. I can't even say my name right this morning. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide and host here on the NowMedia Television Network. Join us next time.
This has been a NowMedia Television feature presentation. All rights reserved.